Alright guys, welcome back to What If Cooler Was Canon. This is going to be the final episode. I hope you are enjoying this. I know I'm enjoying this. And yeah, with all that being said, let's get to it. We cut to Beerus. Beerus will be on his home planet when suddenly Cooler would arrive. Goku's been training under Whis, while Vegeta's been training under Beerus, but Beerus hasn't seen Cooler in a while. Beerus would look down at him and say, "What is it?" Cooler would bow and say, "I want you to train me to be your replacement." Beerus was shocked. Why would you want such a job? Well, it would make it so I can run my empire better, and I can keep peace within my universe. Besides, my powers have grown. Ever since I was born, I've trained and fought to become better, and that training has led me here. And I think I'm ready to become the next god of destruction. And I know you like to relax and eat, and I'll let you do that if you step down. Beerus would look down at him and say, "To be honest, I've thought about stepping down for quite a while, but immortality sounds nice. I could just use the Dragon Balls on Namek to wish for that, and then I can relax. However, there's one thing. I refuse to give it to someone weaker than me. So, 5 years from now, I'm going to train you, and if you can't beat me, I will erase you. But if you win, you become the next god of destruction." Cooler would agree, as Goku, Vegeta, and Broly all looked on, shocked. They couldn't believe Beerus would make some sort of deal with Cooler like this. And Cooler would risk it. He would risk getting erased. He would stand up and begin to train with Beerus with Vegeta. Cooler would unlock Ultra Ego with Vegeta. And Cooler would train to push Ultra Ego with his black form. Cooler knew that this training would be grueling, and that he needed to defeat Beerus at all costs, and if he doesn't, he'll be gone forever. As Cooler was training, he needed a way to get stronger, so Cooler told Broly to fight him. Broly would charge at Cooler, and as they fought, Broly would slowly get angrier and angrier and angrier. As the anger bubbled up inside him, he became the beast that he was before, with no conscience, only death and destruction on his mind. However, Cooler turned black and punched him straight to the floor, and as Broly got up, Cooler began to toy with him. He began to push Broly further and further. He knew the longer he fought, the stronger Broly got. He needed Broly to get stronger so he can have a worthy opponent. As he was pushing himself, he saw his strength rise more and more and more. As it pushed his black form back, he turned Ultra Ego with it and began to charge a non-lethal Akai, hitting Broly, knocking him out, similar how Toppo did with an Akai and didn't erase Frieza. As this defeated Broly, Cooler would look down and smirk, realizing the full strength of his power. Then he would look at Goku and Vegeta. Kakarot and Vegeta has always been his two right-hand man. Ever since he can remember, they were rivals. Vegeta was the top of a Saiyan squad that worked with Cooler. And Kakarot, well, Cooler raised him since he was a child. Cooler always had a soft spot for Kakarot. Even though he was harsh on him, even though he trained him harshly and pushed him and wasn't always the nicest to him, deep down, he did care for him a bit. He was one of the few people Cooler actually cared for. Cooler would look at them both and ask for them to fight him at the same time. "I want to fight Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct. One perfect at destruction, one perfect at defense and balance. I need to defeat both of them if I even have a chance against Beerus." Goku and Vegeta would look at each other and nod, as Vegeta went Ultra Ego and Goku with Ultra Instinct. Whis began to watch and say, "Oh, now this will be a show." Beerus got popcorn as he watched with Whis. Vegeta would look at Cooler and say, "Are you sure about this? I know you're the strongest, but you're taking on." Cooler would then smirk and say, "Both of you, hit me with everything you got." Kakarot would use his Ultra Instinct and charged at Cooler. As Cooler tried to hit him, he would dodge all the attacks, and Vegeta would punch Cooler, causing Cooler to punch him back. But every time Vegeta took damage, he would get stronger. Vegeta would be on offense, and Goku would be on defense. It would be a perfect team, hitting Cooler in all of his pressure points. Cooler went into his black form and his Ultra Ego form, as suddenly he began to charge the Kais and shoot them everywhere. As Vegeta and Goku were forced to dodge, Cooler hit his power level and hid. Then he came right up, grabbing Vegeta and throwing him at Goku, hitting him. Cooler would go after Goku first, and even though Goku could move without thinking, if he was fast enough, he still couldn't dodge. But this used a lot of stamina. Eventually, he was able to put Goku down, but by the time he did, he was almost out. And Vegeta was right on his tail. He had to put everything into one giant blast to defeat Vegeta. Then, after they healed up, they would do it again. Cooler would fight Broly, Goku, and Vegeta again and again and again. Day after day, they all trained and pushed each other, and they all fought Cooler. Cooler went through drooling training, mastering his Ultra Ego, mastering his black form, and pushing himself near death again and again. As the first year passed, Beerus would look at him and say, "It's time to spar. After each year, I'll give you a little sparring match until the 5th year. That's when things will get serious." Beerus then showed off his full power, 100%. Cooler turned black and Ultra Ego, and at first he stood a chance, but as the fight went on, Cooler just got pummeled. Beerus would hit him in all of his pressure points and grab him by his tail and whip him around, hit him into the floor hard. No one's ever reached this power before. I can tell you're 30% of my true power. That's amazing. No mortals reach that level. However, if you want to surpass me, that's not going to be good enough. You need to get stronger, Cooler, Beerus would say as he broke both of his arms. Cooler would then yell out in pain as he cried out. As Beerus went back to his base form, Beerus looked down at him and say, "This will be the worst 5 years of your life. You'll go through the hardest training you've ever experienced before. Your bones will shatter. Your body will break. And most likely you'll be erased. But there's a small chance you'll win." Eventually, 5 years would pass. After all this training, after being broken and put back together again and again, after fighting Beerus, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta, finally they were ready to fight each other. Beerus would turn 100% full power, but Cooler would do the same thing. As they both looked, Beerus says, "Ready to be erased?" "Are you ready to be put out of a job?" As they charged, they would punch each other, and this punch would be so strong it would shake the entire universe. As the entire universe shook around them, Beerus would look at Cooler and say, "Do you know why I became a god of destruction?" Cooler would ask, "No, I don't. To be honest with you, I respect you as a person. You're strong, stronger than anyone I've ever met. Not counting the angels, of course. But you don't seem like the type. You just like to relax and have fun and blow things up. So why would you become one? Simple. The last god of destruction gave me lip and destroyed my race. Me and Champa survived, luckily, so we decided to become gods of destruction, so stick it to him. And I killed him." Beerus would then sigh. "Oh, I'm sorry," Cooler would say. "Don't be. It's alright. Besides, my race lived on in a couple other universes. And, to be honest, Cooler, I like you. You remind me of me." "Really? You had a brother that you didn't really like. Of course, I didn't kill mine. And even though you had differences and things, you still continued on. And look at you. You have achieved a power beyond anything else in this universe, just like I did. If you lose and I erase you, I will never forget you, and I'll sing your name to everyone I see. And I'll make sure this universe remembers you forever." Cooler would laugh and say, "Thank you, but that's not gonna happen. Once you lose your job, I'll make sure they remember you forever." As then, Beerus and Cooler began to go at it, both super evenly matched. Neither of them could gain an inch on the other, pushing each other with everything they had. As Beerus would charge a massive Hakai, he would throw it straight at Cooler. It would hit Cooler and begin to erase him, but Cooler would say, "No, I won't not die. I will not be destroyed. I will not be erased," as he pushed into a tiny ball and threw it at Beerus with all of his might. Beerus was barely able to block it, as then he kicked Beerus down. As they both battled, the battle lasted for hours, then days. Both of them went at it with everything they had, pushing each other with every bit of energy they had left. But eventually, after all the pushing, after all the battling, after Cooler hit Beerus and all of his pressure points, after all the Hakais, the entire universe kept shaking more and more and more and more. But before the universe could be destroyed, eventually, Beerus lost, as he fell down to the floor of his planet. Cooler would land beside him, breathing heavily. As Whis would go over to Cooler, suddenly a God of Destruction symbol would appear around his neck. "You did it, Cooler. You're now a God of Destruction." Cooler would turn back, as Goku, Vegeta, Broly, and all of his subordinates were watching him. He then thanked them and said he leaves the Empire to them. He's gonna need a full time to be a God of Destruction. As Beerus smirked, he said, "That was the best fight I ever had. I'm glad I lost to you." And they both shook hands. As Beerus left, he got the Dragon Balls and wished to be immortal, and Cooler would rule as a god of destruction. Cooler's empire brought peace and order. Sure, it was brutal, but this peace and order was enough to raise the mortal level. Universe 7 was greatly improved, and Cooler was a great god of destruction. And that's going to leave things off. Hope you all enjoyed this series. I love you all. Thank you all for watching. And yeah, I wanted to do this uniquely. I did add the Moro and Granola arcs, but I didn't want to just do all the super arcs because I felt like having unique arcs were good for this character and things. You know what I mean? Even with the Granola arc and the Moro arc, they were a bit different in this series, which is a good thing, you know? The whole point of a what if is for it to be different. Anyway, hope you all enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.